So
It
what
feels like you
Bladesong is
have to
just
go out of your way to not like optimize this.
yeah, it definitely feels like it is hard to not have this character be just a strict major upgrade over wizards.
I'm putting all my ASIs into wisdom.
That's how you nerf it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to play Bladesinger, but you aren't allowed to put more than a 10 in your int, dex, or con. There we go, we fixed it.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we are continuing along our wizard subclasses, and we're covering the Bladesinger today.
Ha 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 ha! Sword.
Nice.
Bladesong. Did it. I hate that this option exists.
Okay, well, it's a very popular one.
Yeah, it's because it's really busted. It's like, hey, what if you didn't have to give anything up to be a full caster? And then they made this. It's wild to me that this is in the same book as Battle Rager. This is in the same book as Purple Dragon Knight. This is in the same book as Master. I don't know if the OG Mastermind was in this book or not. There were a lot of really terrible martial subclasses that were put right alongside this. Oh, Sun Soul Monks print in the same book as this is.
Oh, fun.
For context. So you're like, why did those don't get features and this gets these?
I mean, to be fair, this is working from wizard. That's working from monk.
Yeah, and then you compare the basic feature and you're like, what is happening? Yeah, if you can tell, this option is very popular because it is very good. It is basically saying, hey, and I say I hate it. If you like it, you have a great time with it, your table's having a great time with it, all power to you. Do it. Have a blast. Don't let me yuck your yum playing a powerful, fun option. You can do a lot of cool stuff with Bladesingers. They can be a blast to play. They're just generally very, very good.
All right, well, let's see what's so good about it.
We start with training in War and Song. When you adopt this tradition at second level, you gain proficiency with light armor, and you gain proficiency with one type of one-handed melee weapon of your choice. You also gain proficiency in the performance skill if you don't already have it. Okay. You don't need light armor proficiency, for the record. It's nice to have, but you don't need it, because you could just use mage armor. But now you don't even need to use mage armor. Now you can just opt to take plus like a 12 plus dex armor, and you're not forgoing even a first level spell to be a martial character, which is nice.
Good
it's very
start.
kind of them. Huh?
So that's a good start, yes.
Yeah. You also are generally going to be starting with a rapier because these builds almost always favor dex because dex base builds also add on to your AC. And you're going to see very quickly this class is secretly all about having an obnoxiously hard to hit AC.
Yeah.
So you're going to want a high dex. So rapier, short sword, scimitar, that's normally the weapon you're going towards. It often will help to be a racer species that comes with proficiency baked in for that reason.
Is this not limited to elves?
It wasn't originally when printed. It was in Sorghum's Adventurer's Guide. They updated it to be open to anyone as a Prodigy Scholar and everything, I believe.
Okay.
It was basically open to everyone anyway because no one liked that restriction, generally speaking, but it's fine. The actual meat and potatoes of what you get after getting this free armor proficiency, free weapon proficiency, and a free skill, which is all fine, sure, is Bladesong. Starting at second level, you can invoke an elven magic called the Bladesong, provided that you aren't wearing medium or heavy armor or using a shield. It graces you with supernatural speed, agility, and focus. You can use a bonus action to start Bladesong, which lasts a minute. It ends early if you are incapacitated, if you don medium or heavy armor or a shield, or if you use two hands to make an attack with a weapon, which means no greatswords. You can also dismiss Bladesong at any time. While your Bladesong is active, you gain the following benefits. You gain a bonus to your armor class equal to your intelligence modifier. That's a very large number.
Yep.
Your walking speed increases by 10. You have advantage on dexterity acrobatics checks. You gain a bonus to any constitution saving throws you make to maintain concentration on a spell. The bonus equal to your intelligence modifier. Oh boy. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and get them all back when you finish a long rest.
Okay.
Which means you have more of these than you'll usually ever need.
Yes.
Because 2 encounters per long rest is kind of the norm for low tier play. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, the one limiting thing is how many times can you use it though? But
2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6.
Yes.
So
as many times as you need.
Yeah, like even if you're not hitting people with a sword, if we do some basic AC calculations, like let's pull up the equipment. Let's look at armor real quick, right? You got You got free light armor. We love free light armor. Light armor is great. You get studded leather. It gives you a flat AC of 12 plus your dex modifier. Let's say you're being, you don't have the ability to get a perfect stat array, so you're working only with a 14 dexterity. That's plus 2 dex, right? So your starting armor before Blade Song is a 14. Pretty modest. Let's stack on top of that now plus 3 in. Oh, well, now I'm working with a functional AC of 17 as a wizard. Oh, and let's
With
not
access
forget,
to shield.
yeah, that little doohickey right
Yep.
there. That comfortable plus 5 AC sitting in your back pocket whenever you need it. Even if something does hit through your AC, don't worry. You don't have to worry about your concentration still. We want to make sure we covered that because you're also going to add a flat plus 3, assuming you've got a 16 hit, to every single constitution saving throw you make to maintain concentration. These builds are unbelievably limited, or unbelievably narrow, generally speaking, as far as stat arrays go. You normally have a 16 int, a 14 con, a 14 dex, and it doesn't matter what else you take because you're not going to drop concentration on effects particularly easily. You're going to be very difficult to hit, and you can do that as much as you need to.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's really, really good. You're going to just have a feature that gives you way higher power than, like, defensive power than most other characters that are even marshals get by this tier, right? If we compare it to the heavy and medium armors, you would need to have spent 200 gold to get split mail, which gives you an AC of 17. This you just get.
Yeah.
If you use mage armor, it goes up to 18. But that's before shields, that's before all that stuff too, like, because mage armor is functionally light armor with a base 13.
Right.
So you can use that instead of your studded
Okay,
leather.
yeah.
And then you have an AC of 13 plus 2 plus 3. And then remember, every time your ability scores go up, so does your armor class, now in 2 different ways. So if you can start with a 17 and a 15, your next ASI bumps your AC by 2. So you go from a base 17 or 18 AC to a base 19 or 20 AC before shield. And that's a 4th level character.
That's nice.
Nice! That's obnoxious.
Yeah.
The wizards are used to having an AC of comfortably like 14, sometimes 12. Like, you just get this. You're also faster, so you're harder to pin down. You don't have your uses scale with the game as it progresses. This feature is very, very good. It does get better though, because the real meat and potatoes of this option, we haven't gotten there yet, is extra attack. Starting at 6th level, you can attack twice instead of once when you take the attack action on your turn. Moreover, you can cast one of your cantrips in place of one of those attacks.
Okay.
This is the problem with Bladesinger right here. The AC stacking is obnoxious, sure, but plenty of options to stack AC. Now you're a full caster with this obnoxious AC stacking that is also going to be getting a single level later the same feature your fighter fought their lives for to get at 5th level. You've been casting 5th level or 3rd level spells. You've been animating the dead. You've been raining fireballs from the sky. You've been flying around like a god. And the one level later, you go, oh, also I got what you got last level. That was supposed to keep up with all of those powerful things that I am now doing. I just get to do both if I want to.
Yeah, but I mean, how much do you want to? I mean, you're a wizard.
It varies is the answer to that question, right? Like, this is a tool for the people that want to play the hybrid Gish option, the sword and sorcerer fantasy. You want to make a bunch of attack rolls, right? This does that while giving you the full utility belt of spells to add in case you don't want to attack for some reason. A thing you can do often, you'll see happen a lot with this. You'll price a cantrip for something like Booming Blade or something like Green Flame Blade, because that is not foregoing an attack roll to do the cantrip attack as well, right?
Right.
And that scales passively as you level. So eventually, while you're not getting a 3rd attack, you're getting plus 3d10 on your 1 attack plus the other attack as well. You can do clever little things by building around extra attack in Wizard. It's harder than it is in some other classes, but you're going to be running around with a higher than 20 AC. You can take the martial feats if you want to do specific builds with like different finesse weapons, 2-weapon fighting stuff. You can dig into some of the build variety that martial characters get with this, all without really having to lose anything. You're still going to have all your utility spells, all your explosive backline spells if you want them. You can focus on like leading with a saber die and then attacking the thing that you paralyzed yourself, right? You can take Quicken spell to do that with hold person. So you bonus action hold person and then attack them twice. That seems pretty good.
Yep.
As a multi-class option, right?
Sure.
You don't even have to forgo spell levels for that. You just forgo 3 levels into sorcerer out of your wizard option. It's yucky good. And like,
Indeed. Excuse me.
you then stack this against an average 6th level fighter. Like, stack this against an Eldritch Knight, for example.
Yeah.
How is this comparable? It's just not, right?
Well, no.
Why would you play Eldritch Knight when you could just be Eldritch Knight here? I wouldn't.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, no, neither would I, but if you do want to just hit harder with a great weapon.
Sure, this is limited in build to some usually light and finesse stuff. That's fair. This is slightly narrower in that terms. You can do some tricks to try and get around that, right? Like, you can try strength-based builds to do throw weapon stuff or longsword-based stuff, polearm master stuff. As long as you're using it with one hand, right, you're good. You can finagle some of that if you really want to, and there's good reasons to explore. This kind of lets you say, I want to optimize some feats and build into some, what cool feat paths can I do? But I also don't want to give up Find Familiar. I also don't want to give up 9th level spells. I also don't want to give up, all the good, powerful things full casters get. Why make a decision when you can have both?
Yeah.
I hate, sorry, my venting and hatred for it I'll put it on the shelf for later because it's not important. Because this could be really fun depending on who you are.
Sam, people come to this channel for you to hate things.
Oh, great. Then they're getting plenty of that from this.
But this you hate because it's too good, as opposed to why you usually hate things.
Yeah, and it's not even like, I don't even think this is good in an interesting way. It's good in I have an enormous AC and I have better martial capabilities than most martial characters.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Like, this to me feels like the 8-year-old that's like, oh, well, my superpower is it eats other people's superpowers and can kick your mom through a brick wall. That's what it feels like to me. Is, oh, my wizard also can attack with swords, but also has a higher AC because it has to have a higher AC that the paladin does. Like, this feels like bad homebrew. Anyway.
Yeah.
Song of Defense will begin at 10th level. So beginning at 10th level, you can direct your magic to absorb damage while your Blade Song is active. So if you are hit, big if, when you take damage, you can use your reaction to expend 1 spell slot and reduce the damage by amount equal to 5 times the slot's level. So you get some really fun questions. Like, oh, I'm only going to get hit by 1 attack? All right, I'll just shrug off 15 damage so I don't even have to bother making a concentration check.
Let me ask, that's what I was going to ask. So yes, this damage, since you're removing it, doesn't count toward breaking your concentration.
I believe if the damage is reduced to 0, it doesn't deal damage and thus doesn't enforce a concentration check.
Okay.
Even if it did, you're adding like +8 to it, so who cares? Yeah, this is ghoulish defensive overkill, especially because it competes with absorb elements. That being a modern edition makes this a lot worse. It competes with things like shield, obviously, silvery barbs. You'll often want your reaction to doing those things, but hey, maybe you would rather shrug off 45 damage. Spend a 7th level slot, get your 45 damage off, I guess. 35 damage off for 7th. Yeah, it's not a great deal most of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, being a full casting wizard, you would probably just have some extra slots to spare.
Yeah, especially if you're planning on using your actions, taking the attack action over and over again, right? Like,
Sure,
this gives you a very, very efficient place to put spell slots. But again, I just don't think you have a problem having really efficient places to put those spell slots with shield and absorb all the defensive reaction crap we've been complaining about. I think this feature is the worst thing they seem to be getting. We ended on Song of Victory.
Yes, but it's still not. I mean, it's still decent. I mean,
it's still a thing.
There will be times when you do use this.
Yes, there'll be times when you go, I don't want to risk losing haste. 15 damage goes away. Oh, you can target yourself with haste with this because you can realistically keep it up. That's fun. Then you get 3rd attacks. Then your fighter goes, you are just a better version of me because you got your extra attack at 5th level and your 3rd attack at 6th level. Anyway, and your AC is like 27. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that fun? That's fun.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's real good. Song of Victory is what you get at 14th level. So starting at 14th level, you can add your intelligence modifier to the damage of your melee weapon attacks while your Blade Song is active. So now you're adding +5 to every of those hits that go in with your attack action. No, just sorry, melee attacks you make. Great. Melee attacks with Blade Song just do +5 damage now. Hot.
Yeah, this is the one I'm least excited about.
+5 damage to 3 or 4 attacks? Because you can offhand attack with this too if you really wanted to, right? That's +20 damage around if you're doing a haste stuff.
All right, I guess this is better than Song of Defense.
Seems decent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is a real boon. They're just like, hey, what if you also got, if you get a +5 dex, +5 in, now you just start stacking huge amounts of damage on all of your hits. And your fighter is just like, but my polearm stopped a thing from moving. Which reaction did you take this round? You have 5 options. How is this close?
All
all
right.
grief
Yeah.
aside, this is a powerful option. It doesn't have to be the kind of obnoxiously powerful game warping I'm talking about. I think plenty of people will play this to play their Gish fantasy, play their Sword Sorcerer fantasy. They won't necessarily dig into the giant AC stacking stuff where your objective is to have a comfortable functional AC of 30 all the time. There'll be people that just want to be a sword and sorcerer kind of character. They'll start in Wizard, they'll see this down the road and go, that sounds sweet, I'm going to do that. And it'll probably be the most powerful thing happening at the table, but it may not be oppressively obnoxious. I also can definitely see there being characters where if you don't build into this, all you really get is Blade Song. And honestly, that's still probably awesome, right? Like, even if you
Sure.
don't go into the attacking lane with this, you can just say, well, this gives me a comfortable AC in every fight I have. This makes it very easy to maintain concentration on critical spells. Like, if you want to build a character around Conjure Minor Elementals, why not do Blade Song? Because then your Conjure Elementals is so much harder to get down. Like, there are real reasons to build different directions out of Blade Song that will make it obnoxiously powerful.
I think it's. I mean, I think it's difficult to not make it obnoxiously powerful. Like,
It's so
it feels like
Blade
you
Song is
have to
just
go out of your way to not like optimize this.
yeah, it definitely feels like it is hard to not have this character be just a strict major upgrade over wizards.
I'm putting all my ASIs into wisdom.
That's how you nerf it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to play Bladesinger, but you aren't allowed to put it more than a 10 in your int, dex, or con. There we go, we fixed it.
All right.
Yeah, this is getting resounding A. This thing is super, super
Yeah.
cracked. If you have fun with it, great. I'm really happy for you. Do it, enjoy it. Don't let me yuck your yum. But I do think this was overpushed, especially when you compare it to Sun Soul Monk.
Oh, poor
Like,
monks.
you stack this against Purple Dragon Knight, and you go, "Are we playing the same game? What's happening here?" Right?
Yeah, this is nuts.
Can you imagine living in a time you're playing Adventurers League and you're new to the game? You're like, "This is how I play D&D," and you're like, "I'm gonna play a fighter for my first time, but we're playing with the Sword Coast Adventures guy. It just came out. I'm gonna take the new option. That sounds cool. Be a Purple Dragon Knight. It seems thematically fitting. It's got some stuff, I guess. Probably everything's probably well balanced." And then some other person just comes to the table with Bladesinger. What are you doing there? Those characters don't functionally belong in the same environment, right? They're like, this is 3 of what the Purple Dragon Knight is bringing to the table.
It's I think I made this comparison before, but it's like you know, you're playing a video game and your little brother's sitting next to you with the controller that's not plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Now this gets hey, you got to even A
yeah,
too, right?
definitely.
Yeah. Even with
All
Song
right.
of Defense being kind of a dud, it doesn't matter. This thing's busted.
I don't think Song of Defense is that bad. Yeah, it's not something you're going to use every time, but I think there are definitely times when you will use it and be grateful for it. But yeah, even with one not as amazing feature as the rest, it's yeah, resounding A. All right, that was the Bladesinging Wizard. Know there's a lot of fans. Love to hear your thoughts. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining. Leave your comments down in the comment section below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.